Hello, it's Sonia here with a Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time joining me, I'm so happy to have you here. So today is Tuesday, and that means it's Tunisian Tuesday. So I had put a pause on Tunisian Tuesday because it wasn't getting very many views, but I did have some people that really liked Tunisian Tuesday, so I decided to bring it back. So today we are going to be doing a Tunisian stitch pattern, and it's a pretty easy one to do if you know the basic stitches. So what you're going to want to do is chain a multiple of 2, and then you're going to add 3. So we're going to chain 13 because 2 times 5 is 10, and you add 3 and that's 13. Okay, so we have 13 chains. So our first row for this stitch pattern, we are going to work in that back bump, the second bump of our chain, and we're just pulling up a loop. So this is going to be the setup row, and then the next row will be the start of the actual stitch pattern. So this is row 1, and with Tunisian crochet, each row is 2 parts. So the first part is you're putting your stitches on your hook, which we're doing right now. And the second part, you're taking the stitches off. And both parts count as 1 row. So if you've never done Tunisian before, I do have a playlist that goes over the basics to get you started. Alright, so I have my loops on my hook, and because I chained 13, I have 13 loops on my hook. So we're going to work these off. This is the second part of row 1. Yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2 for the rest of the row. Okay, so there is row 1 all done. So now we're going to begin row 2. So row 2, to start with, we are going to do a yarn over. We're going to be working in between this first bar here and in between this edge of the row here. So in this space right in there, we're going to insert our hook, pull up a loop. So we have 3 loops. We're going to go back in there, pull up a loop again. Oops. I feel like I'm splitting the yarn. Let's try that again. Okay, so this is the first loop on our hook, and now we have 4 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are going to skip this next bar, and we're going to insert our hook in Tunisian simple stitch in the next one. Pull up a loop. And now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to work, it's like a cluster stitch. So in between this stitch we just worked and the next bar, so in that space there, you can see I'm spreading it apart. It's like literally like a chain that runs underneath these stitches. So you're going to insert your hook under that chain, pull up a loop, yarn over again, insert your hook under that chain, and pull up a loop. And that's 4 loops with that stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that cluster stitch. So we're going to skip the next bar and work Tunisian simple in the next one. And we're going to work in that space. We're going to repeat this across. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over again, and pull up a loop, skip the next stitch, and work in the next one. Tunisian simple. And we're going to do that across. For our part 1 or forward pass, usually part 1 are often called the forward pass, and part 2 is called the return pass. Okay, so we're at the end of our row. We're going to skip this stitch here and we're going to work in this stitch. It looks like a chain here. You're going to insert your hook in that chain and pull up a loop. And now we have part 1, or our forward pass, done. So now we need to work these off. So you're going to yarn over, you're going to pull through that first loop. Now we're going to yarn over again and we're going to pull through these 4 loops here. So yarn over and of course the loop on your hook. So it's a total of 5 loops. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is being stubborn. There we go. Now we're going to yarn over and just pull through 1 stitch. And we're going to go again and pull through 5 loops. So yarn over, and yarn over, pull through the next stitch, and we're going to repeat that across. And there is row 2. So for row 3, that's going to be the repeat. We're going to yarn over. So on top of this cluster stitch, you can kind of see that stitch there. We're going to insert our hook in there. And we're going to do that cluster. So yarn over right in that loop. Do that again, yarn over, go right back in there. And now we're going to work the Tunisian simple in that next Tunisian simple stitch. And yarn over and we'll work the cluster on the top there. And Tunisian simple. And we're just repeating this across. And now in our last stitch, right there, there's that chain. We'll insert our hook in there. And now we are ready to work these off. So yarn over, pull through that first loop. Now we're going to pull through those 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And yarn over. Pull through the next stitch and pull through the 5. Yarn over, pull through the next stitch, and we're just going to continue across. And there we go. So you're just going to repeat row 3 for however long you want your swatch. So it just creates a nice little row of cluster stitches. I think this would actually make a really cute ear warmer or headband. I actually might use this to make an ear warmer or headband. I think it's a fun stitch and works up pretty quickly. So I'm going to work a few more rows and I will meet you back. Okay, so here we go. I've worked 10 rows. I think it looks really nice. It's a fun stitch pattern and it does work up fairly quickly, which is a nice bonus. So let's work these stitches off for the bind off row. So how we're going to do it, we're just going to work on the top there. You're going to insert your hook on the top of that stitch and work that slip stitch, and again make sure your stitches aren't too tight. So now we're going to work in Tunisian simple and that stitch there, bind it off, and then go back on the top of that stitch and Tunisian simple all the way across. And then our very last stitch, work in that chain and bind that off. Okay, so there we go. And the nice thing is it lays flat. A lot of Tunisian stitches or projects don't lay flat and you have to give it a really hard block, but this one lays relatively flat, which is really nice. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.